Hello guys, what is happening? Welcome back to a brand new video. So this video has been requested quite a while ago. I'm sorry that I'm only getting it up now, but I had a lot of other videos scheduled, and just over the summer a lot of stuff has been going down, and it was requested before the summer when I had tests. But anyway, you're getting it. Let's just get into the video. So this is quite an interesting concept, an interesting video idea, and I decided to definitely make a video on it. So this is going to be a video about revision, like helping you guys to revise and just giving you my overall tips on revision. And I had to talk about a subject I don't really revise that much. Like, before I get into this, you guys may or may not know that I'm not the biggest English fan, but this isn't why I revise the least. English is definitely my least revised subject. I just feel each year in English we may be introduced to new topics or new techniques, but overall we're just building up our skills that we already have, In tests from other subjects we use knowledge gained from a recent period of time, but English we just use our general knowledge, about grammar and writing and stuff like that. But what we could do is we could do practice essays on our books. Say we have to write about what we did last summer or some shit. We could, do a practice essay on that. Or just look over our book, just at things before an English test comes up. So I do look over my book and I do try to revise a little bit. But English is still my least revised subject, Most other subjects are linked in terms of how to revise them, but Spanish is a little bit different. It's not just a new subject, it's a different language, you know what I mean? Moving image is sort of next to English in terms of how long I revise it for, which isn't that long. We did have one test which was like camera techniques and different camera positions, where we had a bird's eye view, which is from the top looking down, and then there could be small people there that may seem, vulnerable, in terms of like a big thing, like a big place with small people there. A worm's eye view, a villain, you could have villains used in worm's eye view, where it's the camera's at the bottom looking up, you know what I mean? So there could be like a villain there, which they would seem more in control, you know what I mean? That seem more like they're the bigger person. And just different camera techniques like that. Overall, I did get a B, which was alright. But we've mostly been doing work in school, besides the work where we used cameras or phones to record outside of school. But other than that, there wasn't much stuff we needed to revise for. It's just more like it's more of an equipment / practical based subject, you know what I mean? Maybe I don't do HE, I never really liked it, but in HE I think you just bring food in school, and there's you cook, so there's that side to it. It's a bit like that in moving image, where there's less revision and more work, but there may still be revision in there, there may still be revision kicked in, and all you do is you go over what notes the teacher gave you. Don't worry, that's not my only advice, but it's mainly applies the same way. And most of the other subjects are the same. There's not much else I could say in terms of the other subjects. Science, even though it's single award, it's probably one of my hardest subjects. It's single award. It's which basically means foundation science. I was doing a foundation paper in single award, which is like foundation, which is like there's foundation, and then there's higher tier foundation science, and then there's double award foundation, and then there's double award higher, right? I'm at the very bottom, the easiest. I'm not super struggling because it's still a foundation paper, but science is just all the way down, just all the way down. And I do look over it, but it still gives me a headache. The best way I could revise is the textbooks make it really easy because they provide most of the information you need. So you go over it topic by topic, read the main points of the topic. For example, volcanoes, that's natural stuff, that's a topic, isn't it? Look over a topic, my favourite topic was the fingerprints, like doing the fingerprints and the different fingerprints. I don't know which fingerprint mine is. I have no idea. It could be like a swirl or I don't know. But anyway, you look over different topics and try to get the main idea, go on to the next one, and then just try to, break it down, break it down. Anyway, try to kind of, topic by topic. Most other subjects are topic by topic, but I feel science, because it's the hardest for me, Spanish is up there too, but that's totally different. I would definitely break it down. Instead of trying to revise everything at once, maybe writing out keynotes on a certain topic, and then trying to look over it and revise it. So, Sir gave us, I think it was over the Easter we had to revise topics 1 to 9 or some shit. I can't remember, I wasn't really paying attention. I was too busy thinking about the kid behind the camera vlog that I watched the night before. Anyway, you revise it topic by topic, and it just breaks it down a whole lot easier. Still probably going to get an F, but there you go, it is what it is. I chose science because it is fairly important, but it's single award, which kind of decreases the stuff you can do with it. I feel moving image is probably one of my favourite subjects because I love video editing, I love camera work. I hate construction, and I fucking can't stand doing another PE on top of the mandatory one. Moving images, definitely. There's some shitty people in my class, there's some annoying people in my class, there's some really dumbass people in my class, not going to name any names, don't want to get into trouble. But, the teacher... actually, never mind. It's not really my favourite subject to do. I don't really like all the work in it, because I hated... Let's just pretend this fidget spinner was a action figure, alright? And in the stop motion animation, which was task 4, the last task of year 11, we had to move it in a specific way. So you had to do 20 frames of the thing moving. I'm sure you know what stop motion is. I hated it. I could not stand that. I love editing. The sound task where you had the Kung Fu Panda task and you had to add in sound effects. So they had a clip where there was swords clashing and the wee, was it Mantis, the wee one, he was fighting and everything, and it was a massive scene. I used the box of my Nintendo Switch to tap on it to for the drums. And then there was a part where there were people cheering, and this is my folio sound for people cheering. Yay! It was really hard task to do, but it was so fun. It was fun to do the sound. It was fun to do the folio. It was fun to record my dad and then edit that for a task. But stop motion, just stop. All right. It was so tedious. I did get it done. And here's something else I'm going to come on to next. But it was so tedious moving it, and I have a friend who, you had to stick to a certain script. There were certain things you have to move it in this direction. You had to make the action figure. I was going to say fidget spinner. The action figure go and get a certain thing. So for example, make your action figure get this 10-point note, so you had to animate it to get the note and animate it to give it to the camera. I hated it, but I got it done. That's something, okay? If you're doing something, say ICT, I got my Game Maker done. It was tedious, it was long, and here's an attitude you shouldn't have. Especially during an exam, or before one, or in any point. Besides PE, I know I can't do it, I say I can't do it, and I don't do it, I don't care. You know, the mandatory PE where you have to do it. But that's besides the point. In every other subject, I say, I can't do this, but I'm going to, and I'm going to get good at it. It's like a game. You don't play a game if you're a gamer, and you don't go, oh, I can't do this. You try until you can get better at it, okay? You do videos for help, you know, like walkthroughs. If you don't do that, that's fine, you know. I don't use walkthroughs either. But anyway, try to do it, and that's what you should do at school. If you can't do something, you finishing a task, like the stupid stop motion thing, do you know what benefit that would have for me? I can't remember the exact percentage of my overall GCSE, but that would have a percentage of my GCSE, and I want that GCSE. So I tried my best, and Miss liked it. Miss overall, she thought mine was alright, and that's the main thing, okay? If teachers don't like it, that's fine, at least you tried, but you put as much effort in as you can. If you think you can't do something, the way I couldn't do that shit, it took me like the whole amount of time you were given to do it. It wasn't before the summer holidays, before I was finished. But you do a task. You do it. You say to yourself, I know it sounds so generic, but say it. I can do it. I will do it. I will try my best to do it, and even if I don't get an A or a B or whatever, as long as I still get, you know, a good amount. You don't aim for the highest, you aim for what you can do. Okay, a person in a wheelchair, their aim, you know, who's permanently disabled, their aim, like say they're in a running event, their aim isn't to get up and run. Their aim is to run, you know, like use the wheelchair. You take gradual steps to help yourself get better, but you don't do something, you know, out of bounds. If you're asked to do something, you stick to what you're doing and you try your best to do it, okay? And there may be something that you like doing and you can do. You know, I have a friend who, she has a disability, but she's wanting to be in the Paralympics. You may know who I'm talking about. And she's a decent runner. Well, she's a good runner for whatever, alright? Your opinion may vary, but the fact that she's doing what she wants to, and she's following her dream, like literally she's running towards it, you know, I'm sorry, it's a bad joke, is really inspiring. You know, even if you have problems, even if you have issues, you still can do what you want to do. And it mightn't be, you know, the way other people do it, but you can do it your own way. And that's how I feel it should be. You don't want to look at other people and how they do it. It might help you, might give you, you know, help, but you do things your own way if that helps, okay? For my stop motion in moving image, I tried. And you mightn't be like this. You mightn't be, you know, all colory and beautiful. You might just be like this. Might just be normal. But as long as you get as far as you can be, as long as you, I'm not making any sense anymore, I'm just going out of bounds. As long as you can do the best you can, that's what matters. Because teachers and all can see your grades, and they can see how well you're doing and how you can do. And if you do as well as you, I'm not saying that you're stuck on, you know, what you can do now. Of course you're going to get better, but you do what you can do. You don't really always compare yourself to other people, because they may be they might be at a higher pace than you, and your motivation will be down. What you need to do is think of that topic alone, think of that thing you're doing alone, and wonder how you can get better. Wonder what you can do. Alright? I'm just telling you guys my advice because I can tell you that stupid stop motion thing, and even in Spanish, which I'll get on to, using my own advice and other people's advice really helped. I mightn't get, an A, but you get as much as you can, okay? If you think, oh, I can't do this, I'm going to do bad at it, you do as best as you can, okay? And you try and put as much effort into it. I know it sounds generic and done before and said before and everything, but that's because it's true. That's because it really is. I cannot tell you enough how you may have a really hard task ahead of you, but if you put yourself towards it, you put as much effort in. Yes, you mightn't be as good as other people. If you put minimal effort in, that isn't reflecting in you. That's reflecting more in your attitude and your ill-willingness to do something. If you put all your effort in, it mightn't be the top, mightn't be the best, but it's the best you can be, and that's what matters. I promise you, if you, like me, I'm shit at science, but if you do as best you can, and that's what I do in science, even if I get a lower score, like a D or an F, not really that helpful, but I try, and even if it's pathetic, and I'm crap at it, most of you may be better at it, but as long as you try and you do get better and you follow advice, that's what matters, because that's what brings you on top, okay? You can talk to other people and see how they're doing. I'm not saying to be in your own bubble, but comparing yourself to other people too much, maybe people in your own, like say you're in a Mario Kart race and they put you with people that have got the same skills that you, that would help you a lot. But, or whatever game you play in multiplayer, but if they put you in somewhere where the other people that on your team or in other teams or whatever the case might be have higher skills, that's not going to help, is it? And if you're put in with someone with lower skills, you're just going to beat their asses. But if you're put in with some people by the same skill level as you, that may help you get better, or that may help you, go past or go as far as you can. And that's the way it's really hard when you're put with something and you're like, I can't do this, and it's so easy to adopt that attitude and say, I can't do this, I'm not going to do it. But if you say, I can't do this, more than likely you're not going to use all your capabilities, and you're going to, put it to the side, and you're not going to do as well as you can do. So you're going to end up failing. You're going to end up getting a really lower result that doesn't reflect in you. But if you then try to say, I am going to do this, I definitely am going to do as best as I can, you'll definitely get a higher result, or higher whatever, may reflect in you, or may be better. Maybe your new high score, or your new grade, or your new whatever. There's always room for improvement. Just go over what you have, ask. If you need advice, even if you may be like, oh god, I don't want to ask in front of the people, like everyone else knows that 1 + 1 is 2, and you're like, what's 1 + 1, what's 1 + 1? If you don't want to put your hand up and be like, sir, miss, what's 1 + 1, and everyone laughs at you, you go to the teacher, as long as they're a nice teacher to approach, which I'm sure they will be, and see if you approach them and they say otherwise, it's their problem, because you're just trying to do a normal thing. But whatever, you go up to them, even if it's not in front of the class, even if it's after class, and more than likely they'll be happy to help. And if a teacher isn't willing to help, it's their problem, which needs to get sorted by them. Maybe they're not getting paid enough, they have problems at home. Teachers do have problems because they're humans too, which is understandable. But if you need help and you're not doing anything wrong, you deserve that help. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're unapproachable, it's not your problem how their attitude is. You want to get help from them. It's the same to an extent with teachers, who your attitude's disgusting, or even employers have a more better attitude towards things. which would help them, help you, because they want to help you if you've got a nice attitude, and you want help from someone with a nice attitude. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure most of the time teachers would have nice attitudes and would be willing to help. Most other subjects work the same in maths. What I do is write out some like equations of some topics and try to get used to that topic. Sir would help us in class if there's a topic that some of us are struggling on. I think sometimes even if it was the one person, he'd help, but mostly if it's more than one person that needs help on it, he'd help them with the class, or if it's one person, he'd help them individually. If you need help in something, you don't sit there and feel ashamed to ask. You do, because it would help a lot. And even if you're still not getting it, try to go home in your spare time. It's not the teacher's job to go home with you in your spare time. It's your job to go home and revise as much of it as you're willing to. Don't over-revise. And this is something linked with Spanish, what I done. So yeah, most other topics are the same. Most other subjects are the same. Break it down topic by topic, which may help. Just look over your work, ask for advice. And there's not much else I can think of. If you do a test and you don't get the best, sometimes you'll be allowed to keep tests. Going over previous tests or practice papers would help a lot. Whenever in maths I got like 2 practice papers, calculator, non-calculator, it so helps to go over it, see the marking scheme and see his website. It's really easy, especially for Spanish and other subjects like applied business. I needed to get like a graph for a certain task. It's so easy to do that, and if you do get mark schemes or past papers, it helps a lot. Some teachers might give you websites, and you can look at them websites for help. And doing things digitally just makes life a whole lot easier, like typing, going in different websites. But even if you need to write stuff down and look over work, that's what would help a lot. In RE, there's a lot of writing, which would mean a bit more revision. What I done in my RE test is, even if I didn't remember the whole story, I wrote as much as possible. Miss said not to go into like writing that mightn't be all related to that question. Don't go on a big tangent or say silly stuff or something. But if you learn as much as possible, which I'm going to get into more in that later, about learning as much as possible and stuff like that. But if you learn as much as you can, learn as much as you can. You had to rewrite a story in RE, right? For me, that was a little bit difficult because I couldn't remember the whole story. But I wrote as much of the story as I could. So if you look at each story and remember as much of it as you can, that would help. So the more stories and questions you get answered, the more of a chance you get a higher result. And yet, here's the thing. If there's a question like, or what Russian helped develop the periodic table, even if you write Vladimir Putin, you just write, even if it's rubbish, you just write, not really even if it's rubbish, of course, as long as it's some sense or some logic. But write as much as you can and try to answer as much as you can. Because you may end up getting something right. I don't know, Vladimir Putin might have helped develop the periodic table. Unfortunately, I thought of that answer after the result, so I was kind of screwed. So, if Vladimir Putin did help the periodic table, marks easily lost. But anyway, learn as much as you can. Information may get muddled up, which is understandable and sucks. But whenever I say learn as much as you can, here's something else. Here's where we're going to talk about Spanish, which is kind of like the final thing before I wrap this video up. Most other subjects, like I said before, look over it, ask for advice if you need it, do your own equations or do your own, writing out certain topics and look over it topic by topic. Break it down. In Spanish, we had a oral where we had 5 paragraphs, 2 unpredictables. And this is what I done. Miss told us to learn a certain paragraph by a certain day, before a month before the exam. So if you learn paragraph 1, and then if she said learn 2, you had to say 1 and 2, so you're remembering the previous ones, because it's easy for you to remember a paragraph and the other one to get a little bit lost. But for me, here's what you do. Some other subjects it may apply. I was revising point 2 one night, and I cannot. Some people can revise the whole paragraph in a day. I can. I revise about a sentence or two, and then revise that for half an hour, go away for a couple of days. Don't leave it too late. Go away for a couple of days. Maybe say it in your head, but don't get the books out. Say it in your head, come back to it a couple of days later, and if you remember that, go on to the next bit. Here's what I was doing one day. At home, I was revising too much. I wasn't breaking it down. Trying to revise the whole paragraph 2 and paragraph 1. If you have a test, like maths for example, and this is information, this is your brain. If you revise and try to get all that information in your head, when it comes to the exam, the information will gradually be going out and out and out. It's the same with me in Spanish. If I revised the whole, like paragraph, boom, went all in my head, and it would go out quicker. But if you revise bits of it, and you revise portions, it would be more in your head, and it'll be more locked there, you know what I mean? So for paragraph 2, I revise sentence, by sentence, by sentence, by sentence. And remember all them sentences together. If you revise the whole paragraph for the whole paragraph 1 and 2, and it comes to the exam where it comes to miss asking you, or sir, whatever, the information would go out quicker. Yes, the information, I don't know, point 1 to 5 in the unpredictables now, but the information will go out quicker. So if you can revise a day before the exam, but not hours. Revise a little bit, take a little, just a little revising session. Because if you try to cram all the information in, it'll go out quicker. So give yourself a lot of time to revise. Break it down into sections, like half an hour one day, half an hour another, an hour this day. I wouldn't really recommend an hour for one subject, but if that's what you're going to do, try to break it down. Try to look over an individual point, but not forever. So for Spanish, look over 2 sentences, okay? And then whenever you get the full point, look over your previous one and then that one together so you remember both points. Don't be stuck. This is my 20s. I still have diaries, okay? I still use a diary. Robert Unexposed. Don't have it all here all the time, okay? Actually, you're going to look over it, which is important to revise. But go away and try to remember that information and recall it in your head. So if you're recalling that information, it will be easier to recall during the exam. In Spanish, when I had revised all the 5 points, I revised it, over time. And a miss says to revise something for a certain day. Of course, revising it for that day would help a lot, but seriously, it does. Because miss or sir or whatever the case may be, knows what they're talking about, especially if they've been teaching for a long ass time. If there's a younger teacher, still kind of listen to them, but they wouldn't have as full experience as someone older. They've been in the game longer, they know what they're talking about. So, you revise information by information, and as long as the teacher can ask you the information and you say it, if you revise all at once, it doesn't help. If you revise bit by bit, it helps it stay in your head more, if that makes sense. It helps it get a home in your head. It's more like it's visiting your brain and then it goes away. But if you revise it now and again, it's more visiting. It makes itself feel at home more, so it's stuck in there more. For written, I'm sure it's somewhere around the same, but you're writing it down. I'm not that sure. It's just help that may be useful for next year, but there may be different things and it may be a little bit harder. Each year for me just gets a wee bit harder. So first year, second year just a wee bit harder, third year a bit harder, fourth year is a bit more harder, but still. For Spanish there was a lot of homework, I think Spanish was one of the subjects with the most homework, what I can remember. If you do that homework in time, you please the teacher, you be in the teacher's good steps, or you try your best to please the teacher. Not always teachers pet and everything, but do your homework, be nice. You may get more help, and they may want to talk to you and deal with you more. So even if you hate school, try your best not to adopt that attitude, because it's somewhere where you still have to be. And if you hate it more and your attitude stinks and you don't want to revise and you don't want to learn, you may end up not getting passes and you might have to stay another year. That's not what I'm not saying, that everyone that's bad at school stays another year. But my point is, if you try your best, even if you hate school, just revise, do your homework, be nice to the teachers, hi, and whatever. They may want to help you more. They may want to be with you more. You know what I mean? And if they give you more advice and they give you more tips, that would help you. That's another big thing I could say. And there may be more things that I left out. If you want to continue, tell me in the comments below how else you feel. But that's most of the things I would say. If you want to use music revising, that's fine, but I don't do art anymore. And this was very good for art. I didn't really like art, but music helps for art. If you do art, I guess you may agree with me or whatever. But yeah, just take it bit by bit. Don't, like most of my other friends, maybe going to different schools, I don't talk to them anymore, but they always have their heads in their books. Yes, when you go older, you need to revise a lot more. I'm not saying if you need to revise more, I'm not saying not to, but I'm saying try to take breaks. Don't always have your head in your book. I could still, see whenever I was learning Spanish, I could still play that one game I have. I'm trying to get more. I could still make YouTube videos. I could still do, maybe less, but I could still do it. Because I'm not always revising all the time. And yet I'm still doing good because I still know to control the amount you revise. Maybe you go to a better school than me and you have to revise more, and that's understandable. But at least for me, which it may apply for a couple more years or whatever, I do revise, but my head isn't always in the books, you know what I mean? I revise, but not all the time. It's healthy to get a break, get a bit of fresh air, not always have yourself bombarded, especially with different subjects. You've got a lot of subjects to do. Is it good to revise like multiple subjects in one night? I would say it's possible, but try to revise each subject for like 20 or 30 minutes each, which is what I do. I just look over it, don't pan over it, look over topics and main bits and break it down. Then go on to another subject. Don't revise everything you have to revise. Revise some bits, come back the next night, revise another, come back the next. Maybe change it up a little bit so you're doing certain subjects in certain days. I don't really use a timetable. I don't think it's super important, but it may help. It may help. I'm not totally against timetables. Some people use revision cards. I don't really do that. But revising at least Spanish with a friend or other subjects, or, what does this mean, or what is this? That helps a lot. Revising with friends helps a lot in class as well. But I wasn't always sitting with my earphones in and revising Spanish, so Miss, had to speak it for the pronunciation and whatnot. I wasn't always doing that. But revising at least a little bit does help, because it makes your brain want to stick with it more, whereas if you revise everything and you look over everything, it's there, but it's more temporary. You know what I mean? It's like eating, right? You eat slower and then you're more full up, but if you eat fast, you'd end up being more full up later, and you're trying to stuff more in. You know what I mean? Whereas if you go slow and take it slow, you'll end up getting it in the end. But there'll be more information there, whereas if you take it fast, different people revise differently, and that's just how I revise. Some people may disagree, but that's just how I feel it's important. I've included more things than I anticipated I'd include, but I really hope this helps a lot, and I hope you can get through the full video. I tried to make it as detailed as possible. It's not a video I'd expect making. I also have Braintrain on my DS, and I do have word searches on my phone, and I got like all these word searches for £1. It helps for me to just sit down, look at word search. It's sort of semi-English, I guess, but it does sort of help, you know, to do wee sort of things here and there. Like, even if it's a smaller level than what you're at, it still helps a little bit. Of course, you need to go up to your level sometime, but you know, doing word searches and wee fun activities may help, you know, help a little bit and kind of kick it and get that blood flow and get it, you know, pumping. Like, before you do, you know, PE, you know, you're doing your exercises and you're doing your, you know, your wee, you know, front, you know, arms and back, and it's like that. It's getting it going, you know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm not going to make it too long because I know most of you mightn't be able to stick it. Some of you might have already left, but I hope I did my best to give you guys as much information as possible, whereas giving not the most information as possible, but the most suitable as possible, you know what I mean? Which is still important, you know. But seriously, it means a lot, you know, you guys supporting, and if you have any video ideas, feel free to tell me them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to get around to it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Not sure when I'm going to have it up because I've got other videos to release. So maybe after summer, maybe before summer. But whatever day it is, I hope you're having a good one. Stay safe, guys. And peace. Yeah!